AI just saved the American government tens of billions of dollars, and in this video, we're gonna see exactly the role that AI is playing in government omnibus packages, bills. Let me share my screen, let's get into it. So I think there's one thing we can all agree on, and that's that the government likes to spend money, and lots of money. And what happened this past week is there was a continuing resolution essentially passed, or was a big controversy because Republicans and Democrats had both agreed that we're gonna pass this 1,546-page document, which basically funds the government for the coming year. And a continuing resolution is not supposed to add tons of new stuff, but rather say, this is how much we spent last year. This is gonna serve to fund a lot of the government functions. And then we're just gonna keep it going. And then during the next year, various bills and spendings are passed. But what was kind of crazy to me was that this is what the bill was going to look like. And then Elon and Trump came in, they're like, oh, we got to tear it all apart and it's too much spending. And it was kind of controversial because we don't want a government shutdown. The government provides a lot of services. But what ended up happening on the other side is they gutted this thing. And this is what it looks like after. It dropped from 1,547 pages to 116 pages. And we're gonna see exactly how AI plays an important part, because what essentially happened was, imagine this, you're a congressman and you're about to go to bed and you're like, oh, it was a long day. I'm gonna get on a call with my wife or hang out with my wife, or maybe I'm gonna play a video game before I go to bed, whatever you're gonna do. I don't know what congressmen do. They play League of Legends maybe, I don't know. Anyway, they're about to go to bed and all of a sudden you get an email, beep, we're voting on this tomorrow. And you're like, oh, I was gonna go to bed, now I gotta read this 1,500 document. What ends up happening is they don't read it. And so you show up to Congress and you basically do what people tell you to do. But now AI completely changes the math on this thing, okay? And so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna use ChatGPT and we're gonna read these two documents. So first, we're gonna have it review this 1,547 word document, then we're gonna, page document, then the 116 page document. And I think this is something that is so transformative to everything that we do. Everything that we do. Because before you would just not have time to read this, but now you can have AI read it, and I'm gonna show you exactly how we're gonna walk through this, okay? So let's pop open ChatGPT here. You might use a different drug of choice, but we're gonna use ChatGPT here. And we're gonna attach files. So we're gonna go in here and I'm gonna upload from my computer 2 files. Now that we've downloaded these PDF files onto our computer, we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna drag and drop them here. I've got the American Relief Act. This is the 116 page, and the continuing resolution is the much larger page. All right, so we're gonna go and we are gonna upload the continuing resolution. This is the 1,500 word document. And then we are gonna also upload the American Relief Act, which is the 116 page document, okay? And then we're gonna type in a quick prompt here. I'm gonna fast forward for you. Okay, so we've set up our prompt here. And first I wanna ask it to act as an expert. This is a really important prompt. I'll put a link to an entire video talking about this particular prompt, because it is a very important keyword that you should be including in all of your prompts. So we're gonna ask it to act as an expert attorney serving in the US Congress. Please compare and contrast these two bills. I also have a great video on the power of compare and contrast. I'll put a link to that video up here as well. I definitely encourage you to check that out, because this is a very powerful prompt that I'm really getting to love. So we want to compare these two bills. What are some key expenditures the larger bill includes, the smaller one doesn't? I need to pay special detail, or we'll say pay close attention to dollar amounts. I want you to be comprehensive in your review, but concise in your answers of each line item. This, listen, this comprehensive keyword and concise word, really important in prompts as well. And you know what? I'm gonna give you a free gift. I'll put a link below. I have a 52 week guide. So each week you're gonna get to play and practice with new prompts, and it's totally free. I just want you to really crush it with AI. But anyway, these are two really great prompts I like to include in all my directions. And please be concise in your answers of each line item. I also need you to cite pages this information can be found on for reference. This is another really important prompt I like to include. Again, there's tons of different prompts that you can use. Get the free guide below. You're gonna love it. You're also gonna get more information on how you can survive and thrive with AI. So anyway, now that we've got our prompt in there, let's go ahead and go and see what ChatGPT was able to pull out for us here, okay? Okay, so let's get into it here. We've got our results. It took about, I don't know, 15 seconds to start going. And so they both are going to include money for Army R&D, Air Force R&D, bills for storm-related consequences. And you can see we've got references here. This is not exactly what I want. I want to know the page number. So we might go a level deeper, but let's keep going and see what else we got here. The ARRA provides additional funding for programs not covered in the continuing resolution, addressing border infrastructure, disaster relief, $250 million for disaster-affected areas, child care development grants, support for telehealth and home care expansion. And again, it's giving a link to the PDF that's on. I'm not really loving the format of this, and I just don't find it to be as useful as I want. So I'm going to say I need page numbers. Are there any billion-dollar expenditures? And you know what I might also do is I might put this here into a templated format. Yeah, so this is also interesting too. I specifically asked for big expenditures. It did not include any of the billion-dollar expenditures. Here I'm seeing that there was actually 1.4 billion approved for the Rural Development Act, and it shows me, and this is, I think, really, really useful because, again, this is the problem that you're going to run into with AI. It's not always going to be totally accurate. So I always ask it for citations, for references, page numbers. So here we can kind of click on this link. It's going to pop this up. I actually already have it up, so I'm just going to skip here. And we know that on page 19 of the ARA is where it talks about this big $1.4 billion expenditure. That's a lot of money. I'm going to want to have a little bit more information on this. So I can see here, rural development process, boom, 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 boom. Where is that $1 billion? I do not see it. Now, I can see we've got huge expenditure, and maybe what it's doing here is it's merging stuff together because I do not see 1.4 billion. What I can see here in this farm production and conservation program is we've got 356 million here. We've got 828 million here. For an additional amount of emergency watershed protection, there's 920 million. So that is actually well above the 1.4 billion that it referenced. So I might say for the farm protection and that's on page 17. So here's what I'm going to do. Because I can't find it, I'm going to say, can you be more specific to the rural development and disaster recovery? What are the specific line items? Please put in a table format. This is another one that I really like to do is putting it in a different sorts of formats. Sometimes this can give you better results. And so let's hit go here. And I really want to see if this lines up. I think this is kind of the key here. And now we are actually seeing here. These are the numbers that I saw and that we saw when we were going through here. Emergency Conservation Program, 828 million, boom. Watershed Protection, 920 million, boom. Rural Development Disaster Recovery, 362 million. Okay, so we can start to kind of break this down and go deeper and deeper and deeper. Part of what might have happened here is by comparing and contrast two PDFs, I think this creates a little bit more complexity for the AI. There could be some hallucinations coming on here. I want to actually know more about this. So what I'm gonna do is here, I'm gonna copy and paste this. Can you give me more detail on this section in table format? I really like that table format. That's really cool. So we're gonna hit go. And so again, it's going to break it down. Here's the detailed breakdown of the transportation and Coast Guard expenditures for the American Relief Act. And again, it's giving us page references. And I think this is really, really important that we're getting these page references here, because then we can go and we can verify and we can validate. And let's actually do that here in real time. So we see 102 million. Let's go see this Coast Guard disaster. So, and this is on page 9. So let's go to page 9. And this is on the one that actually passed here. And let's see if we can validate these numbers that it's giving us here. Okay, and so I'm not seeing the references on page 9, but if I come here, I am seeing some of these numbers on page 8. So I see 908,000, or 908 million rather, 908,000. I'm not, and again, this is where we go back and we ask, I'm not seeing these numbers. Could you confirm the reference? So it's kind of shocking. Okay, oh wait, all right, so it's changing it up here. Again, a little weird, But let's see here. And this is, I think, again, why, we're doing this in real time. This is why refining your prompts, refining instructions, cross-referencing, I think, is really important. But now it's saying that this 102 million is actually on page 54. So why was it saying page 9 previously? Actually, let's go to the original big bill. Let's look at page 9 on the big bill and see if maybe it's there. Nope, not seeing it there either. Okay, so let's check page 54. Let's see if they pulled a fast one. Let's go to page 54. Now, again, there are multiple platforms that can do this. Grok, Perplexity, there are a bunch. Okay, so here it is. 102.5 million. So again, I'm liking that we were able to get to the answer. You cannot just take everything that AI gives you as scripture, okay? It is not divine. It is not always 100% accurate. So going through and doing this double checking is a really important part of the process that I like to use when I'm interpreting large data sets. So if we see here 102 million, we also see this 210 million. Is that on page? It is actually on the following page, page 54. Okay, 53 and 54. Okay, so this is this section. So we were able to find it, but it took 2 tries. So if you were just taking this and copying and pasting it, you could find yourself in an incorrect situation, and we don't want that. Let's see if there's is there any allocation to pay increases for government, for Congress. Let's put for Congress. I know this was like a big part of the controversy in this bill, so I want to see what kind of result we get here. This is going to be good. This document does not get any, it says it does not. This document does not allocate any congressional pay increase. However, adjustments tied to other government salaries, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. What about in the continuing resolution document? So this is interesting. You'll see that it is also, it's not really looking at the continuing resolution document. It's mainly focused on the American Relief Act and all these responses that we're getting here. I mean, the first one was, see, it's all American Relief Act. So I think what we may have done here is kind of confuse it because it's not even really it's only referencing the second. It's not really referencing the first document. So this is what we're going to do here. We are going to drag and drop the continuing resolution, and we'll say, please review this document for pay increases for Congress. And let's see what we get here. So it's saying that the CR does not allocate funding for pay increase specifically for Congress. It does include provisions for adjustments, blah, 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 blah. And it did review the document. So I know this was a big controversy. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go a step deeper and use another one of my favorite prompts and say, would you please cross-reference? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask it to actually search the web. If you are not using the pro version with the search the web, it is a really, really powerful tool. Let's see here. Upon reviewing both of these bills, as well as cross-referencing, there are no explicit allocations for congressional pay increases. Therefore, the final versions, I don't know. Interesting. I don't know that I would, notably, an earlier bipartisan version of the ARA included cost of living salary adjustments for lawmakers. However, these provisions were removed in subsequent revisions. And again, this is exactly what we were trying to find. At any rate, you kind of see how this can start to pull together some results. I'm actually going to go back one more time, and I want to put the, I'm going to create some comparison tables, and we're going to have it create some comparison tables for the 2 bills and see what we get back here. And we can see where it's kind of saying the similarities, unique allocations in the ARA. That is the big one, 820 million here, boom. The ARA focuses heavily on disaster recovery, rural aid. So anyway, you can start to see how you can use AI to review documents. This is still a little bit choppy for me. What do you think? Do you think this is a problem with the prompts that I'm using? Do you think this is a problem maybe with ChatGPT? Maybe Grok is going to be more effective. Maybe Perplexity is going to be more effective. This is something that I'm starting to see is that different AI models are going to have different pros and cons and different advantages. While I love ChatGPT, it's kind of a catch-all. It does many, many things very well. I got to say, in reviewing these 2 documents together, I'm not as impressed. Now, I think it did some really cool things like being able to read being able to read a 1,500 word document, a 1,500 page document, and quickly give me citations and give me reference points, that I find to be very, very useful. You know, if I'm talking to someone and they say, oh, did you hear about this? I can kind of go and I can kind of use ChatGPT. I can find the document and upload it. I think there's a lot of really powerful stuff going on here, but clearly it is not, it's not the place where I would be, I would not be comfortable just giving it the information and taking it back as scripture. I'm telling you, this year we are going to get there with the GPUs that are being produced by companies like NVIDIA, with the increases in energy and coolant and these huge server farms. This stuff is going to get better and better and better. Better that you're starting to play with it now, and better that you're watching videos like this so you can learn more quickly. Definitely get my prompt guide below. It is going to change your life. Some of my best prompts are in there, and you can really, really start to get a handle on how you can use ChatGPT and other AI tools to optimize your workflow. And if you like this video, smash the like button, and I will catch you in the next one. All right, peace.